An area that keeps coming up because of this whole pandemic that clearly is terrifying and frightening is that many individuals are feeling out of control. They're feeling that they don't know what they have control over any longer in their life. They've been forced to stay in their home. They've been forced to leave a job. They've been forced to have their kids stay home. And this really raises a lot of concerns for individuals in feeling out of control and sometimes even rebellious in trying to fight the system. I do want to point out that there is a difference between feeling despair and feeling hope. And while many of us are feeling despair that we don't know what the future looks like, we don't know the path that this virus is going to take, we don't know what the next few months are going to be like, there is hope. And I tell a lot of my patients that we never know what we can get through unless we remember and remind ourselves what we've been through. And so many of us have to take a step back and say, I was through that trauma, or I was through that situation, or I was through that ordeal, and I got through it, and I will get through this as well. These are the conversations you have to have with yourself. This is about combining the positive talk with the negative talk, and combining the internal talking that we have that sometimes gets us carried away and gets us worried with the positive side of things will be okay and this is a temporary setback. I just had a discussion with a very close friend and I said to her, maybe this is a sign that we all need to slow down. Maybe this is a sign that we need to all take a deep breath and slow down the warped speed. Myself personally, I can go at 150 miles an hour and I have to force myself to stop. And maybe this is what this is about. And maybe that's the part of in control that we can own. The fact that we can say to ourselves, you know, I am going to do this today because I can't do this today. And looking at the positive rather than the negative. Hope is a very interesting thing. There was an interesting psychiatrist by the name of Viktor Frankl, who was a philosopher, and he talked about why some people in the Holocaust had hope and others didn't. While some people in the Holocaust survived and others didn't. And he basically said it had to do with hope. He did a longitudinal study on this, and he found that the individuals that were able to come out of the concentration camp, obviously being lucky enough to be able to come out of the concentration camp, many of them had a good attitude because they were hopeful. And they looked at this silver lining and they looked at the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's basically something that we maybe need to practice as a society, as a nation, as a world, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but we just maybe have to slow down. There used to be a saying years ago, slow down and smell the roses, or slow down and smell the coffee. Maybe we forgot that, and this is a reminder that we have to do that.